Yesterday, I made a video about YouTube doubling the monetization requirements, and I was honest about how much that frustrated me. It really was a punch in the gut. I hate when the rules change on you in the middle of the game. It's not fair, but I guess like it or not, YouTube owns the field. We're playing on it, and they just moved the goalpost. The biggest problem I have is those that just started or standing in the mailroom, so to speak, looking up at the glass ceiling, our path to the top floor, but someone just doubled the number of floors above us. Since yesterday, I've had a lot of people ask me some version of the same question, and I want to be honest with you about it because I ask myself the same thing. If you're over 50, thinking about starting a YouTube channel as a side hustle, and this new made you wonder if you just missed your window, I'm not going to talk you out of that feeling with a highlight reel. I actually sat with it and I want to walk through where I landed because I think the honest answer is more useful to you than some kind of a prep talk. Hi, my name's Mike. Welcome to the channel. So here's the fear. The bar just got higher, twice as high, in fact. And if you're starting from zero at 50 plus, weighing this against your time, your energy, maybe your retirement plans, a longer road to any payoff is a legitimate reason to want to hesitate. And I'm not going to pretend that's irrational. It isn't. If the whole plan was start a channel, get monetized in a year, earn some side income, that plan just got harder to execute than the old timeline was. And that's real. And I'd be lying to you if I said otherwise. So let's not rush past that. Sit with it for a second. Now let's actually look at it clearly instead of just feeling it. So, what actually changed and what didn't? Well, I mean, the number changed. 4,000 watch hours became 8,000, 10 million shorts views became 20 million. That's real and it's not small by any means, but here's what didn't change. And I want you to really hear this part. What didn't change is consistency. Retention didn't change. Making something people genuinely want to watch, none of that moved an inch. That's still the same. Those were never really about hitting YouTube numbers anyway. These were about you showing up, getting a little better with each video. That's what always the actual game underneath the number has been. The number was just the scoreboard. The game itself is exactly the same. It's exactly the same as it was a month ago and as it was a day ago. I watched a lot of videos yesterday on this subject. Many, if not all of those videos were made by accounts that are already monetized, have tens of thousands of subscribers. Most of them had the same take. It sucks that YouTube would make this change. They were all encouraging to keep pushing, but if you went beyond the video and read the comments, there was a different story there. So many, in fact, the overwhelming majority of the comments clearly showed just how hard this change actually hits. I mean, there was comment after comment I was reading that people saying, that's it. I give up. No sense in going any further. I'm done with my channel. Not going to waste my time any longer. Just pure frustration. And I get it. I want to make a case that might sound strange coming from someone who was frustrated about this yesterday, but hear me out. A lower bar attracts people who quit the moment it gets hard. It always has. Doubling the requirement doesn't create more competition from serious people. It thins out the crowd of people who were possibly never going to stick around past month two anyway. People that weren't really very serious about it, thought it was easy. And think about who that favors. Steady effort over a long runway, patience with process instead of chasing a quick payoff, showing up consistently, even when the results aren't immediate. If I had to describe the exact skill set that favors, I'd basically be describing what most people over 50 have already built an entire career on. This isn't a young person's game of who can get viral fastest. It's becoming more of a marathon, and a lot of you have already run a few of those in your working life. So I'm not saying The harder requirement is good news by any means. It's not dressed up to, I'm not trying to dress this up to make you feel better. I'm saying it might genuinely filter the field in a direction that plays exactly the strengths a lot of this audience may already have. Here's something I don't think I've said clearly enough on this channel. The YouTube Partner Program, the ad revenue is one way to earn from a YouTube channel. It is not the only way. And for a lot of you, it may not even end up being the main way. Sponsorships don't require that you're monetized at all. Brands work with channels based on the audience and the trust it's created, not whether YouTube itself is paying you. Then you have affiliate income. It works the same way. You can be earning from affiliate links before you ever cross the ad revenue threshold. And for a lot of people building a channel as a side hustle, the channel itself becomes the front door to something bigger. Maybe you start doing some coaching, consulting, you create a course, you have a service that you offer where the video content builds the trust and the real income comes from somewhere else entirely. So if your whole plan was built around the ad revenue number specifically, I would encourage you to loosen your grip on that number a little. It's one lane on the road, it's not the whole road. Now, psychologically, I mean, you have to admit, getting monetized is a huge mental boost for sure. It's a gauge that, right or wrong, we use to determine just how well or successful we are on YouTube. Similar to getting the play button, it's like a promotion. It feels good. It could provide you with the drive to really push even further or harder. I get it, I really do. So I'm not trying to blow a bunch of smoke at you. I'm not going to sell you a fast track because I don't think that's ever been honest, even before this change. Building a real channel, one with an actual audience, not just a handful of videos nobody sees, it takes time. It took time under the old requirements too. The new numbers stretch that timeline further. And I think the honest thing to do is say that plainly instead of pretending it doesn't matter. But here's the thing about a longer timeline, it was always going to feel long while you were in it. I mean, whether the target was 4,000 hours or 8,000, the difference between a channel that gets there and one that doesn't was never really about the size of that number. It was about whether you keep going long enough to reach whatever the number happened to be. So most channels that fail don't fail because the requirement was too high. They fail because the person stopped posting after video 6 or video 10 long before any requirement became the limiting factor. The new rule didn't create that problem. It was always the actual risk. So let me pull all of this into one answer to the actual question. Is it too late to start after 50? No. But I think the honest version of no comes with some conditions. And I'd rather give those to you straight than hand you an empty, oh, yeah, you can do it. Just stick with it. Um, it's not too late. If you're building this as a long game and not a quick payoff, it's not too late. If ad revenue is one goal amongst several, perfect. Not the only reason that you're doing this, fantastic. It's not too late if you understand the timeline realistically instead of expecting a fast track that was never really guaranteed in the first place. But if the entire plan was monetize fast, cash in fast, I think this update is a fair moment to rebuild that plan around something more honest, not to abandon it, but to rebuild it, rethink it. I told you at the start I wasn't going to talk you out of the fear with a highlight reel, and I meant that. The requirements are generally harder now, and I mean that's real. There's no doubt about it. But the actual work of building something worth watching, that part's exactly where it's always been. Still entirely in your hands, still not dependent on a number that YouTube sets. If you were on the fence about starting, I'd rather you start with clear eyes about the real timeline than not start at all because a headline scared you off. The first video was always the hardest part of this, not the 8,000 hours. It was always to create the first video. And that's what the roadmap series that I'm in the middle of kind of exists for. If you want to keep going with me on this, I put a link somewhere up here. I think it's up here. I'm working on the next episode now and hope to have that up before the weekend. And with that, I think my closing words that I use in every video kind of hit a little bit harder today than they did maybe yesterday. And that is to monetize your passion and fund your future. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.